What's good, YouTube? We're back with another episode of the TrakWolf Godcast. I'm your boy TrakBeatz. We got my man Cheno Bliss in the building with us today. We also got Savage in the motherfucking building with us too.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest in the building with us today. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into bro, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, man. Tune in, man. We be dropping a lot of good content for y'all, man. Make sure y'all getting information, some knowledge, a little bit of everything all in one. You know what I'm saying? And stay tuned to the end of the videos. You know what I'm saying? I'll put the timestamp markers down at the bottom. But bro gonna have we're gonna have his shop. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go through and get some footage. We're gonna have his shop and let everybody see what's going on, you know what I'm saying, with bro shop and shit at the end. But without further ado, you know what I'm saying, let's get into bro, man. You know, we got the special guest D Cuts in the building with us today. What's good, bro, man?
How you?
I'm good, man.
Alright.
Yeah, man.
How y'all brothers doing today, man? Everything good, bro.
Smooth.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What y'all cats been into, man?
On the grind, that's it.
24.
Yup. Yeah, I've been with my newborn today, man. I got a fresh little baby, man.
Congratulations on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Beautiful thing.
Enjoying daddy duties.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know.
There's a lot to get adjusted to, but yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
That's dope, man. That's dope. You got any kids?
I do.
I mean,
Yep,
you got...
I got 2 boys.
What ages?
My youngest one is 10 and my oldest one, believe it or not, is 26.
Oh, man, that's what's good, bro. You don't even, you look like you about 26.
I know it's son, and I was looking like, hold on.
Nigga, you
So like, what's some of your tips for like staying like vigilant and youthful, man? Cause damn, 26.
Honestly, man, I would say drink plenty of water, stay sucker free, stay stress free, and that shit'll take you a long way. You know what I'm saying? Like stressing over unnecessary shit and unnecessary people is the quickest way to wear down your spirit. Then you start to pick up bad habits. You start to drink a little bit more. You start to smoke a little bit more, trying to find ways to relieve that stress. Like, you just gotta let shit go, let shit ride. Like, just roll with the punches. Like, it ain't no formula to life or no formula to. It's a blueprint to winning, but it's no formula to it. So, you know, some shit you just gotta let ride, whether it's family, friends, your homeboy that you grew up with, your girl, your wife, whatever the case may be. Some battles just ain't worth fighting. And I'm one of those people that if I'm gonna fight a battle, it's gonna be something that's gonna be worth my time. Like you can keep all the petty shit.
See,
you can win on that every time.
And the thing with them battles is, it's like, if you battling and you supposed to be on my team, we should be battling together.
Oh, absolutely.
If we battling against each other, bitch, and I think you supposed to be on my team, that's not gonna last too long. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like watching your circle and the people you got around you, the type of energy that they giving off, like.
Yeah,
that shit can wear you down quick, especially if you got a giving spirit. And you know, us as black men grow up with your homeboys and shit, and we always talk to ride for your brother, bros over hoes and all of that. But sometimes, man, we grow separate ways and we grow separate distances. So, you know, sometimes you gotta know when to just go ahead and fall back when somebody not good for your spirit no more.
Like, where you grow up? Like, what was it like for you growing up?
Well, I grew up in Charlottesville, Virginia, born and raised. Obviously, I grew up in the 90s, and honestly, like, for real, I feel like, personally, and just talking about youthfulness and all that shit, like, a lot of the stuff that's going on there, we either seen it, we've been through it, or did it.
When you say a lot of stuff, what are you referring to?
Everything from fashion to movies, cult classic shit like that. Like, we came from an era where, you know, some of the cult classics of music and film has been like cemented in the 90s, and you see a lot of the spin-offs, a lot of the ideas that you get now from some of those classic albums or some of those cult classic movies. So And I ain't just
Dance
talking about
moves.
black film. Yeah, dance too, because dance was big in the 90s for a while.
The
you
Running
know.
Man, for a small example.
Oh yeah, look,
How
I just
we used to do the Running Man,
Look.
and now the way they do it is like the Jogging Man. That shit.
Oh yeah, nah, but they got crazy moves. I just seen the
Yeah.
other day. They said breakdancing is Olympic sport now. But I'm like, that's fucking dope for real. Considering where we came from and I think
Once they figure out how to incorporate white people into it, they wanted to make it Olympic
Oh,
sport. Niggas been doing it on cardboard boxes. When they saw niggas doing that shit, they could have
all the
easily
time.
been like,
Oh,
you know what?
absolutely.
They athletic. We can make this a sport.
Absolutely, because I mean that. Look, number one, our dance is come from the motherland where you gonna have to be athletic to a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, so like I said, we see dudes spinning on their head, doing
Yeah.
backflips and all kind of one hand stand popping and all
Pops
kind of
and
shit.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful to see the evolution of where we at in music and film and all of that because of a lot of the stuff that you've seen in the 90s. So I feel like right now is a good era to be alive, especially if you already seen a piece of the 90s.
That's
too.
what I'll be telling people. Like, our generation, like, we caught the last good piece of no technology to growing into technology.
Yep.
So we have the choice, you know what I'm saying, of how much we want to indulge into it. Some people go full force into it, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I grew up without it, so I know how to function and maneuver without it, you know what I'm saying? I use it for my benefits, but I know not to.
And right now, like for real, that's a special trait to have because a lot of people feel like they can't live without checking the phone, seeing the statuses or who putting up what. And it don't even gotta be the local people that you grew up with or that you know. It's celebrities or artists or whatever. You always checking for that. So being able to like move through a room without having to worry about how you gonna be portrayed on social media and all that shit, like for real, that's a good trait to have right now because a lot of people can't function without having a camera in their face. And the whole thing about it is, I was saying this a long time ago, everybody don't need a camera. Shit might sound crazy, but I mean, people be putting up some wild shit.
And some people make it seem like this is one of the easiest things to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a lot to get in front of the camera to do it to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? But, like, to your degree, you know what I'm saying? And what you were just saying, like, the whole process is mind-blowing to me. Like, if you full-fledged in the technology, then you have to assume and know that you're a robot to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you know you're not thinking for yourself.
You in the Matrix.
You know what I'm saying?
You got somebody scripting your whole how you feel.
When you said you get up checking the news and the drama shit, that's you feeding yourself. You know what I'm saying? So what you eat spiritually, knowledge-wise, you know what I'm saying, and physically, food-wise, you know what I'm saying, that shit all affects you.
Oh, absolutely. Because I seen a meme the other day. It was like your diet is not just your food. It's everything that you digest from the information, from your music to your movies, everything. And then the food too on top of that. So everything links together in how you process information. And how you process shit is actually going to be how you react to shit most of the time.
Yeah. That's a good, strong point. So how did all of that transfer you into getting into cuts, becoming D-Cuts?
Well, this is a story that nobody really ever get to hear, but the very, very few people that have been close enough to me to see me grow and, you know, just the social media era, I say. Another meme said, "Don't judge me on the chapter that you walked in on." So we grew up and I thought was a middle class. Yeah. I grew up in what I thought was a middle class family. Like I didn't feel like we was poor, but I knew we weren't rich. Like But like you said, a different era, you had different wants and needs as a kid, then versus now you gotta have a PS5 for a band. You know what I'm saying? Like you got your mama stressing, trying to make sure
you
she
just
get
wanted
that
the newest bike or something.
Exactly.
Shoes or something
shoes, clothes, all that.
So what happened was, growing up, we couldn't afford to go to a barbershop. So my mom used to cut my hair, and
Yeah.
We came up in an era where all this shit you see on Instagram, you didn't have that. Either you could cut and you was nice, or nobody was fucking with you.
Yeah.
So
you had to prove shit in real life.
Yeah, you had to prove shit.
Yeah.
And we come from the kid and play era, where you had to cut high tops. You had Kwame and you know what I'm saying?
Trying to rat tail.
Yeah, rat tails and Big Daddy came with half steps and shit like that. So the skill level that you had to even be qualified to get on a brother head was on a whole nother level than even a lot of this shit of the styles that we do today, which I do feel like the reason why this is such a good era to be alive is because it's no limits on your style these days. Like, you see everybody doing the wildest shit, and you see everybody being conservative. You got both ends of the spectrum, where in the 90s, like, everybody had to have a box. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I used to see my friend down the street. He come home from Rose Hill Drive Barbershop, and he had this fresh ass box, and I'm like, damn, that's love. So me being only available to have 2 styles of hair, there's no haircut and a bald head. I said I was gonna take these clippers, and I said if I'm gonna go to school and they're gonna laugh at me because of my haircut, I'm gonna fuck it up myself. Yeah. So I always say a barber was born in a bathroom. So my mom didn't have to cut my hair no more. I was gonna fuck it up myself until I got good enough that I could do the shit that I seen my friends doing.
How fucked up was that first box?
How fucked up was my first box?
Or was it pretty decent?
No, I did plenty of fucked up cuts.
Because you gotta go through the process.
You have to.
See, my mom bucked on cutting my shit too. I didn't follow in the barbering thing, but she bucked on cutting my shit too. So then I had to start cutting it, because she used to make my points go like this, like a square, and I'm like, I want my shit round. Everybody else got their shit round. She like, hell nah, you know, it's like a safe cut, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't cutting your shit no more. And it came around to the next cut, she really didn't do my shit, so then I was stuck. And I ended up having to wear a hat one of the days because the guard fell off, and I yumped the top of my shit.
I've been through that before professionally too, so. But like you said, you got to go through the process, and to answer your question, my first box probably wasn't that bad, but all the cuts prior to getting to that level of being able to execute a box, I done had some rough days going to school where people laughing like, oh, look at your head.
Because that's not like a regular just fade, you know what I'm saying?
It's sculpting, it's fading, you going from
so many
skin,
different layers.
Yeah, from skin to get a good transition to as high as the person desires that they want to keep.
How high was yours?
I probably
Mine was short.
Yeah, I had a short joint. I never was into
you ain't go kid and play all the way.
Play type look, because you know that's hard when you light skin. Anyway.
Which one was it? Was it Clay? Clay had the short one.
Yeah, Clay had the short one. My height was it. I had the fresh print.
That's hard when you light skin.
You still get a lot of those jokes that you hear
because they tell you look like Will Smith.
The kid play shit. If you had a box of probably over 7 inches at that point in time and you was light skinned, you was gonna get
that was
all the kid jokes. No
that
bullshit.
Was the shit back then, though.
But yeah, it was the shit, and like I said, that's the reason why. Like I said, me personally, I feel like I can thrive in the days and times that it is today, because I got my strength, I got my health, and I got the experience of seeing so many different eras and levels, from the box to the temp fade to different styles that people wanted to transition through time. So after a while, it's like an artist, like you built a catalog.
Exactly.
So you got more. Of course, when you
just go back to this part of your
because when you first start up,
you know what you want.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't have all the skill set when you make your first song or you make your first beat. The experience of continually having a repetition have, honestly, I would say, probably kept me thriving the way that I do now. as far as being, I feel like, I guess I wouldn't say relevant, but I would say needed.
Yeah. So when you got nice with your own hair, everybody else, your friends and shit, start asking for haircuts.
That's exactly what happened.
But they waited for you to get nice.
Of course. Well, the first thing was my mom was like, "Oh, you cut hair now, you can cut your brother hair too."
Oh, you know that was.
So I had a little brother. Yeah. He had that silky Jesus grass, as they call it, and that was another challenge in my growth right there, because like I went to barber school with niggas that could cut their ass off, and it was like, I don't know how to cut straight hair. I'm scared of that shit. So like I had some serious growing pains to get to where I got to. Yeah. That I'm completely thankful for too.
What age did you like start working on yourself, like with the cutting? You know what I mean?
12.
Oh, you was on.
Yeah, that shit sound crazy, but.
That's when my mom stopped cutting my shit.
But
you kept flying.
But even to that point, like something I was thinking about not too long ago was you start to see people kind of gravitate to certain things at certain ages. Exactly. And sometimes we go through that journey where you just don't know how long it's going to take me to find myself. Like I'm still trying to find parts of myself now in my life. Yeah. But especially when you're younger, sometimes you don't know what you like, or sometimes you really know what you love. Like you will see a kid that hoop every day, all day. They got that pure love for that shit, and you like, that boy gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can spot the up and coming, hungry, passionate kid, no matter what it is, boy or girl, whether it's cutting hair or whether it's being a math wizard or coding games for computers or whatever the case may be. Like sometimes you will spot a kid with a passion and they'll just chase it. Yeah. And honestly, like for real, at the days and times we living in now, like all I gotta say is if you know somebody like that, cultivate that shit. Facts. Help them grow in that. You don't never know who they gonna be or what they gonna turn into, or that you might just keep them from making a bad decision at some point because they chasing everything else but what they love. I mean, look, my brother could cook his ass off coming up. You know what I'm saying? We all know people that was good at a particular thing. Like cultivate that. Send them to culinary school. Let them open up a food truck or a restaurant. Like that's what you propelling when you give a kid a pair of clippers.
At least
or a skill set.
At least give them the acknowledgement that they're doing a good job, or they have
the spiritual support as much as you can if you don't have the finances for it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But on that note, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna cut to this break and we're gonna slide right back to y'all. So we back from the break. What we about to get into now, you know what I'm saying, is bro D Cuts, you know what I'm saying, how he transitioned over from doing cuts himself, you know what I'm saying, just in the bathroom, to doing his homeboys' hairs, to getting to that place to where you now got your own shop, name, brand, you know what I'm saying. Like, was that something that you always felt you was going to do, or was it just like, I'm nice at cutting and you just gonna kind of keep following the flow?
Nah, that's something that I had absolutely planned. And I'm gonna just keep it 100. Like, I really have a hard time answering to a lot of motherfuckers. And it ain't, and I done worked in corporate America before. I done did construction jobs. Like I said, don't judge me on the chapter you walked in on. I didn't always have no shop. I paid booth rental before. You know what I'm saying? I came in, I didn't hit the pavement. Walking, like I said, another story untold. I remember the summer that I walked to every shop in Charlottesville and I asked could I get a job. I didn't have a license. I only had one pair of clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just trying to find my way. I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to jump in. Yeah. And I got doors shut in my face. I walked. I didn't have no car. I walked from shop to shop like, yo, I can cut. Can you give me a shot? And I so appreciate every rejection that I got, and it won't even know, oh, we don't want you here, no foul shit. It was just, it won't my time. Yeah. And I completely embraced every door that got shut in my face, because if it wasn't on that fucking walk back to the crib, sweating, kind of demoralized, wondering what you gonna do next, I said, you know what? I ain't asking nobody for shit. I'm gonna go to barber school and I'm gonna go get my own shop. And I think maybe sometimes I don't know. I do shit. I put shit in my head sometimes to push myself. And I know I ain't the only person to do that. But
I do the same thing.
Like
That's
sometimes, like you gotta motivate yourself. Like being rejected, bro. That to me, that just turned me to another level. That turned me to another animal. Tell me I can't do it, and I want to prove you wrong.
Exactly.
So that was just what I wanted to do at the time. Is who I wanted to, what I wanted to grow into, what I aspired to have. It was at that point I was like, nah, I'm gonna go get it myself. I'm not asking for nobody. I can't have nobody continue to turn me down. Which we all get turned down. We all get rejected. You all gotta hear no at some point in your life. But that's something that you supposed to grow from.
I think we all supposed to have our own and be our own bosses to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody isn't meant to lead, but if you're not, just make sure you following somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's a great leader. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely. But even on that point, like you said, we all leaders, and we all got that thing that I talk about cultivating. You got that gift. I don't give a fuck if it's baking cakes. Have you a fucking cupcake business? I don't care if
it's... tell everybody, try to build your own instead of constantly working for somebody. I know some people get caught in that comfortability of that security, you know what I'm saying? But I just be like, you know, we don't never know when we're going to go, so every day we live in uncertainty, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, live at your own risk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Chase what you love, man. You're going to only get one life. And like I said, if you listen to the people that shut the doors in your face, you will look up and it be 4, 6, 10 years down the road, 2 years down the road, and you done missed the opportunity because you done put yourself in a different place in life when you was in that point where you was trying to knock them doors down. Like I said, I don't care what it is. If you writing a book, if you do music, I mean, shit, you got dudes out here that's talented writers but want to block they own success because they want to be in front of the camera. Yeah. Maybe it ain't meant for you to go get in front of the camera right away. Like, be a Bryson Tiller. Get you a check off of your talent, no, regardless.
Yeah, it seems like the way it's set up is like it pushes everybody to feel like they're supposed to play that position. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
A fact, bro.
And it's like, there's nothing wrong with being part of a team or building a team, you know what I'm saying? Or just knowing your position, you know what I'm saying? Every team has that position for a reason. Every position is valuable, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck what sport you playing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
people don't ever get that though. Because like you said, with a lot of ego goes into play to everything that everybody does on a daily basis, regardless of how hard you try to keep it in check, or how sometimes you let that bitch fly. But at the end of the day, like you were saying earlier, everybody got to be in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said everybody don't need a camera. Everybody don't understand that. Cameraman get paid good. He's sitting front row at the NFL game. Yeah. He behind the camera. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You might love sports. You might love editing. You might find a way to put that shit together. You could be a sports writer.
Beats put me behind the music.
And
absolutely. To a cameraman.
Absolutely.
It keeps me connected, but this keeps me out front because I like to give that knowledge back to you. You know what I'm saying? I love informing people and creating this kind of space. You know what I'm saying?
That's a beautiful thing.
So this what makes me step out in front. If it wasn't for this, I would be behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? Like,
how long did it take for you to grow, like, with your clients and shit when you first got your first shop?
When I first got my first shop, well, like I said, I worked in another shop before. I will shout out Brenda and Lisa for giving me my first opportunity.
Salute.
Yeah, they gave me, and I salute them every time, you know what I'm saying? Because having them doors shut in your face, facing adversity, then you come to that level of, I achieved. I finished barber school. I got my license. Now, you know, I can get in the shop. And somebody give me a shot, and I always try to remind people of, no matter what you're doing, understand that it's gonna be levels that you're gonna go through. That before you come to I'm not even gonna say a mastery, but it's like,
Yeah, because you leveling up. So
yeah,
you
you
can say
leveling
that.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so
always leveling up.
yeah, I mean, you just can't expect to just jump off the porch and everybody wants to fly to you. Like, yeah, dudes from my street or a couple dudes from school knew I could cut, but didn't nobody else know. So sometimes, like I said, once again, we let ego replace where we should be. You know what I'm saying? A little more humble. You know what I'm saying? Not feeling like it's gotta be your time yet. Like, you gotta put that work in. You gotta earn that, no matter what it is. So I mean, even to the point of, like you were saying with you, without your knowledge of being behind the camera, how could you put a podcast together that you're trying to grow? Like, it's all experience, man. I mean, you see people come from the humblest of backgrounds, and you like, damn, I didn't know he do that. But they didn't just start out of nowhere. Like, they went through the bumps in the road that I think a lot of us don't get to appreciate, because once again we want this instant gratification. It's like a microwave society. You want it in 2 minutes. Or if you can't do it then you invalid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so like, what around? So you hit the point where you hit barber school. Someone gave you an opportunity. These two ladies gave you an opportunity. Around what age and what point did you establish or begin to think to establish your own shop?
To establish my own shop, a year. And that's just because I knew what my goal was. So, you know, like, I'm going to tell y'all this. Do not take your foot off the gas. Complacency is the dream killer. You know, you get to a certain level, and sometimes we want to hang out on that level. I'm good.
Constantly trying to
like, level up for what? I love where I'm at. And like they said, with every level come new devils. And sometimes human, I think just
that's a good one.
Human reaction is to stay comfortable. If I'm comfortable here, like I know what I can deal with. A lot of people don't want to level up. A lot of people don't want to win because it's gonna take more work.
I don't like being comfortable. I'm my best at work when I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
like
always like that.
When I'm comfortable, shit is like, I feel like shit isn't steady. Like,
right.
Like a storm.
I'm the same way.
Like something about to hit. Like, what the fuck been going on? It's been this couple months. I think I've been chilling or something. Like, it's too subtle. Then all of a sudden, bing, bing, bing. And it's like, fuck. I knew I was supposed to be.
Yep. And what's going to hit is life, because life is coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be them curveballs that's going to get thrown at you. You don't know what it may be.
Yeah.
You got to be ready. In times of peace, prepare for war.
Facts.
You can't just say, I'm comfortable here and don't want to level up.
Yep.
Like, what's going to happen when you want to level up? What's going to happen when you're going to say, okay, I want to go do this. I want to achieve this one certain thing. But you've been sitting here in the same place. Like, you're going to have to work to climb that ladder to even feel like you should be on the next precipice of winning. Like, don't wait to hit the lottery.
All right, so some people, and I've noticed this about some people, they don't have perspective on how to level up or what leveling up is. They don't know the steps. Some people need to see the steps or have someone guide them through the steps. Like, I've heard you say you had doors closed. You had to figure out your own cuts. You had doors closed in your face. You got into barbering school. You got your chance. Then within a year, you heading into your shop. And I know leveling up isn't something that you can just be like, I'm gonna level up. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Most people can't. But what are some things you notice in yourself or in your mind or in your movements when you are leveling up? What are some things that you notice yourself doing?
Completely cutting off the bullshit, completely cutting off whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta put the Call of Duty down. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're gonna have to work the extra hour. Sometimes you gotta keep in your mind a certain set of focus that you know you still working to something, getting them small victories on a day-to-day basis. It ain't gonna be no home run grand slam.
Nah.
It's gonna be that small shit. Okay, I'm gonna start my baking business. You know what? I'm gonna make me a baking Instagram. I'm gonna make me a baking Facebook. Then nobody's buying but my homegirls and that, you know, I make them for some birthday parties. But you know what? Now I'm going to advertise them on social media. I'm going to buy a sponsor ad for people to see that I'm in your area. Like, all of those is small steps, but what you built is a platform. What you building for, and that's the whole thing about whether you leveling up or you just trying to take off. Like, you ain't just taking off out the air. You gotta have a platform to jump off of, to leap off of, to get to the next level.
You gotta get that strong push.
So exactly. So those small things is what you gotta really, I feel like, focus on. Like I said, it's no grand slam. It's small shit you gotta do. Man, I can't go this weekend. I can't do that. I can't buy that shirt. I'm gonna save this for this, and I'm gonna make it happen.
Limits and boundaries for yourself and for the people around you.
Oh, absolutely. It's the only way it's gonna work.
So like when you first started your first barbershop, did you turn a profit? Like, were you in a hole for a while? Did you turn a profit quick? Like, what was it like? You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I will say this, and it ain't even like no trying to brag or none of that, but the plan was already in my mind for so long because I knew what I wanted that day that them doors got shut in my face that summer.
Already, it was from that day. You was like, oh,
I
no.
know
what I gotta do.
I feel you on that shit because when your energy is focused, that's what I be saying. Like, putting yourself in the future. You know what I'm saying? You was thinking about, you could imagine yourself doing every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? To the point that where it didn't matter what was going on, you probably had it cross in your brain, and then you would try to not think about it so you could do what you got to do or brush it off. But it's still like,
it's a step-by-step process. And I'm not gonna lie, like I give it up. I'm a strategic person. I'm a strategy person.
Play chess?
I don't play chess, but it's a game that I would love to learn to play because it's a thinking man's game. Because you're not thinking about how to play chess. You thinking about what the next man gonna do before he do it. And that's how you win. That's how you level up. I'm not gonna give my manager that reaction at work because I know how he gonna act like a little bitch today. And then I'm gonna get suspended and I'm gonna lose 3 days and eventually this motherfucker gonna get me fired. And I'm getting paid pretty good here. It's mental fucking chess every damn day. And I mean, until you completely own your fucking owns, completely, I'm talking about your own building, you the CEO, you got your own fleet of cars that delivers your product or does what you do, or your own DJ equipment, somebody always gonna have a string to pull on you. So for us to have this like invincible vulnerability, like, bro, we all so vulnerable every fucking day. You just can't take for granted. You playing a chess move. You do something stupid, you gonna get a piece knocked off. That piece could be that paycheck because you reacting to your dumbass boss, your dumbass manager. You know, you gotta be strategic. I'm very strategic in my thinking. I'm not just thinking about, oh, you know, wait till I do that. Like, by the time I do that, I'm already like, shit, I'm trying to do this, this, and this.
That's what I be saying when I be talking to the bros sometimes. Like, yo, shit, about to level up, y'all.
Not even a lot of the times, it got to a point where, you know, Trak is like, I think I'm a level up dude myself. So Trak is telling me to level up, and I have to check my own emotions and my ego because I feel like I cross all my T's and dot all my I's. You know what I mean? Like, how do you deal with stuff like that when you feel like I'm doing how do you fight that complacency? It's pretty much what I'm saying.
Look, I feel like this life is gonna be peaks and valleys. You're gonna have them moments that something gonna catch your ass on fire and you gotta make a move. You know what I'm saying? You just know everybody come through those times in their life. I just got laid off. Or, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna be on this job a little bit longer and now I gotta make sure this rent paid. Like, absolutely. Like, and everybody goes through those kind of moments where you gotta really try to figure out like what you made of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have to dig deep and you gonna have to make some sacrifice. And I think a lot of us have a hard time with that word itself because you feel like you losing. But self-discipline is what's actually gonna help you to make those small moves sometimes.
Without question. And like, I've known you for a while, so I know you've had shops by yourself and you've had shops with partners. like, what made you step into a partnership owning a business?
Well, I'm gonna say this: when you want to have a partnership with somebody, you gonna split the headache and you gonna split the profit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna split the bad days and you're gonna split the good days. Yeah. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing to be able to kind of shoulder a burden with somebody that you obviously rock with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To see us level up. And just same analogies. Okay, you know, me and my boys, we gonna get a studio. We gonna do this. We gonna make music. But until you truly got your own, like I said, going back to that, like you never really get to call your own shots. You're going to have to deal with the feelings and, you know what I'm saying, the intentions, the egos, the other things that come along with having someone to work side by side with. And I always think of life, and they say you either with me for a season or for a reason. So life sometimes is like moving in a crib with your homeboy for the first time. Like you don't think you're gonna live there with that nigga forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You're gonna level up. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want to go get your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like and I think, like you said with complacency, man, sometimes it's easy to say, shit, I know he got that half of the rent. I ain't trying to go nowhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you know, man, he got his girl. They gonna get their shit. Like you can't be mad when the next man wants to level up to have his own. So that come part again with the, like I said, the human complacency is just something that we all have, but those are reasons why you don't want to ever be comfortable.
I've faced a couple, 2 or 3 situations where it made me realize I can't be in a place where I depend on somebody, where somebody levels up and we're working together and I'm still dependent on a system that we had. And I'm not ready for them to level up yet. I'm not going to do anything underhanded, but some people will do stuff underhanded to keep you there because they're not ready for you to level up.
Absolutely.
Have you ever faced things like that?
Look, we all face things like that in life. Like, it ain't always got to be in business, you know what I'm saying? Somebody ready to move on with their life. That's a real life shit. That's some real life thing. Your little friend that you grew up with on the block, we grew up together, they moving to Florida. In a couple months, I'm never going to see you again. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you stunt your whole growth right there? Sometimes, those are, not even sometimes, every single time, that's an opportunity. Yeah. For you to grow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you got to let that bird fly. You can't hold it. All you're going to do is crush it and kill it. But what you're killing is the relationship. Because you're not ready for the next person to go to a certain level. Exactly. You can't go with them. Facts. Like Meek Mill say, everybody ain't gonna make it. Yeah. I don't think that he meant everybody won't go be able to
you can't bring everybody
thrive in their own ways. Yeah. But like I said, once again, that's like moving in with your homeboy. That's our first crib, bro. Yeah, nobody's gonna level up at the same time. And and the whole thing is you gotta be ready for your people to level up. Yeah. If he got that deal, if she got that book deal or that copyright or that baking business, like you can't be mad now. Like this your opportunity for growth. Where am I gonna go from here?
That's why you always gotta be prepared and stay mindful, you know what I'm saying? On that note, we about to cut to this break and we're gonna slide back to y'all.
We back from the break. Yo, Derek, I know you for a long time, and I know you've been with your wife for a long, long time. It's something that a lot of people look for in life, wish they had in life. So, like, how did you meet your wife, man? Like, what was it like when you met her?
Well, we met when we was kids, like 12, 13, and she was coming to see her parents was friends with some people up the street from me where I was growing up. Yeah. So, you see some
easy
little kids on the block. I'm like, who was y'all? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So my brother was out there and we started kicking it with him. But, I already was eyeing the system. Like,
you've been cutting your own hair. You got the fucked up cut.
Yup. 100% facts, bro. That's
a fitted art.
story.
Like, nah, for real.
True story, man. So anyway, we of course just became friends. Like so I knew her for a little while before we met later on when we was teenagers. And I mean after that it was all history. You know, we had our first child like after we was together for a year. So
you had your first child when you was like
I was
16,
17.
17.
Yeah, she was 16. Yeah.
Ooh, did you graduate yet?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't graduate yet, and she didn't either. But we both still graduated.
Okay.
But I would say that we kind of grew up from almost different lives in that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say condone having kids at an early age, because you know we didn't have our next child until 16 years later.
So what you mean by y'all growing different ways?
I think me personally and her, was more mature. You know what I'm saying? Like we was on a whole different level. Like we both started working at an early age, so you know we was pretty much taking care of ourselves.
Okay.
So it won't, like I said, I ain't condoning having no children at an early age, but like we was on a different level of maturity already.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I
important
already
to know.
talked to you about the path I
Yeah.
was on with barbering, like,
Yeah.
and I touched a little bit on how I grew up too. So like I was already ready to go get my own. Like you ain't gonna have to tell me to get out. Like I'm trying to make moves.
Yeah.
Like so by the time I was 16, like I'm already out there in a whole lot of different ways too. So
Yeah.
that's a story for another podcast.
Exactly.
I mean,
So you had a good support system with you through the process, you know what I'm saying? How was that for her, like in y'all relationship, like managing that whole process with schooling and your drive, and because it's like a roller coaster of emotions when you trying to create something, you know
Oh,
what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Like I know it don't be intentionally put on her, but like how do you balance that?
Look, I gotta be eternally grateful. I love you, baby. I love you. But I gotta tell the truth. Like how
That's all
many
love.
how
That's all
many
love.
people, and you will hear it in the song all the time. But how many people you know that's gonna like ride with you and cultivate that dream?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some
Yeah.
people ready to get off. I'm frustrated. This nigga ain't doing shit. Oh, we ain't where we was supposed to be as fast as we supposed to be there.
Exactly.
Like what I tell you,
Yeah.
microwave society. I want instant gratification. I put it on 2 minutes. I'm ready to go. Like
Yeah.
make this shit happen. It don't ever work out like that. Sometimes you get those rare instances
Yeah.
where you know be the next little baby, come home and then next thing you know,
Rare.
yeah,
Yeah.
super rare. You don't see that. Most people that you see come up, they already been down for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of us right now, we don't want to look at the struggle part. We want to see just the winning, you know? And that's problem when you not ready to be strategic and build your own personal platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like when I be listening to artists or I find a new artist, I always do like, I like to look at their background to see like, not like research these niggas, but just check the YouTube and see what kind of music they was dropping before and see how
Oh, yeah.
far it goes back. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Just to see their transformation since what grabbed me to them, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's that growth that we want to see. And honestly, like, this is what we love here. This is the American story. Like, we like to see the diamond in the rough. We like to see the rose go out of concrete. We like to see the Derrick Rose 50-point night after everything he been through.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is you get the LeBron James syndrome. You get the Tom Brady syndrome. Some people at this, you get the Floyd Mayweather syndrome. Nobody tune in to rent Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view
yeah.
to see Floyd do what he do. They go pay for the knockout. I want to see Floyd get knocked out. That's why I'm gonna pay for this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
At some point in time, yo, people don't want to see you win no more.
Yeah.
You know, they tired of you. I ain't gonna lie. I got tired of seeing the Nuggets.
I think
Like, I'm
probably
tired of this shit. I can't
probably
wait till they
Nuggets
get knocked
fan,
off.
man.
I think because it'd be
But
so
people
much
be like that with the
arrogant
Lakers,
energy
though.
behind it, though. It's not like the people's team, you know what I'm saying? There'd be
Oh, yeah.
so much arrogant energy behind it. Like, I feel like if that ain't follow with it, then they might have, like, a longer fan base that's, like, more genuine, you know what I'm saying, that's willing to ride.
So like, What are some things that you faced in your relationship with your wife over this long period of time that have tried? Like, what are some things that you guys have got past? What are some things that people may not expect to face or may not know that they will face in this long?
Expect to face it all, man. It's fucking life. Yeah. Expect to face it all. Like, no story is peaches and cream. It ain't no fairy tales. You go through your ups, you go through your downs. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is human, and you gotta expect through a long relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's with your mother or whether it's with your significant other, you're going to go through some bumps in the road. You're going to go through some times when they're not happy with you and what you're doing or how you acting. And you may not be happy with how they're acting at certain times and points in a relationship. But, I mean, the whole thing about it is it's coming to some level of maturity. And especially with us black men, I got to keep it 100. Like, sometimes you gotta win. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta let your guard down. Like, I know that shit is not fucking easy as a man, period. But sometimes we gotta take the ego off. And I will say that's one thing that I will probably say one of my strongest traits is it's easier for me to take my ego off. But that comes from remembering all the hard times and shit. Remembering shit that you've been through. Like, realizing you got to keep it 100 with yourself. Like, you can't game everybody all the time and always win. Yeah. Sometimes you got to be prepared to face your bullshit. You got to be prepared to face the other adversities that you may face and then say, well, I'm going to go from here. Like, everything ain't got to be a sporadic jump off the roof type action. Like, sometimes you got to hear your lady out, man. You got to listen to her and see where she coming from. Because obviously, if she rocking with you, I know you didn't have plenty of homeboys that then fucked you over. Niggas over that money. They borrowed that shirt that they never gave back. You went to the grocery store, you see some other chick with it on. Like, that bitch got my shirt on. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she done roll with you and ride with you, like, you got to accept her human parts too. You gotta accept her pain too. Like, it ain't always about the win. Like, you gotta know when to compromise, man. And that's just life, period.
So how do you know when to compromise? When is that point in place? Like,
I mean, look, one thing for sure, like, never give up on your ideals, whatever you truly firmly believe in. That's the shit you always should stick to your guns about. You know, whether it's something pertaining to the safety of your kids or something like that. You know, I completely understand taking a strong stance on certain issues as a man and just as trying to be a decent person, period, to your significant other. But if it ain't that, man, you gotta listen a little bit. You gotta hear a little bit, because sometimes, like I said, we just wanna win even when we know we wrong. Yeah. Accept that wrong sometimes. Don't try to sidestep it and spit some kind of bullshit or just smooth it over. Because the whole thing about any relationship, whether it's your girl, but especially your lady, she gonna remember all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's only but so much that anybody's gonna take. So, I mean, at the end of the day, being real with yourself take you a whole lot further in life and relationships and business, period.
So how do you know when to cut something?
I'm good, bro. What you mean?
So, like, how do you know when it's time to cut ties with something?
Cut ties with something? I mean, hey, if your heart's not all the way in it, bro, if you constantly evaluating what your next move is anyway, around your female, like, you know you're going to be gone anyway. Like, you ain't going to sit there with no chick and you going to see shit and you're going to be like, you know what, I don't dig that. Or a year later, you like, I ain't know she was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, chicks do it, I ain't know he did that. You know, when we first met, I just didn't know. So, if you got into, you know, a couple years in and you like, you start to see shit you don't particularly like or you don't get down with or certain shit you won't tolerate, like, you've had those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And then when those thoughts start to outweigh all your other thoughts while you inside that dwelling, that place, that home that you share with this person, then you already know you're going to go anyway. Like, because it is going to take a level of letting your guard down, like I said, to truly be committed to somebody as a lifetime partnership.
So
marriage or love or whatever you want to call it. You don't have to have a fucking marriage license either.
Yeah.
That does not make it any different. It's going to be a spiritual connection. It's going to be a commitment that you make with this person, no matter what the law say, or no matter who you went downtown and went to the justice of the peace. That shit don't make it no realer than anybody that don't have a ring on their finger.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of hard for some people to comprehend. Not to cut you off, but you can go ahead before I get any further.
So when it comes to keeping yourself balanced, are you like religious or spiritual?
I'm definitely not religious. I'm definitely more spiritual person. And you know, I'm not downplaying or dissing religion, but it's just like nothing that I particularly subscribe to. That there's only one way that you're gonna make it into heaven. Blah blah blah. Like that's just not what I believe. I believe it's more than one path to enlightenment. I believe that every life is precious, and every breath you take on, as far as you living and breathing, like your experiences. I don't give a fuck if you outside in the rain and it's coming down and you going through it. Like you meant for that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like
to experience that.
Yeah, you meant for that experience. Like that's to me what it's all about. Like I'm not living to pray to a deity. I'm living through the experience. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to do my best while I'm here, of what I believe and what I want to do and accomplish in life. I'm just honestly blessed that I have probably the strength of mind not to have been weak enough to stray off that course, which is superhuman. Like,
so you
we
didn't
all go through that.
You wasn't raised in a church or anything?
No, we was raised as Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, I don't even really want to get into Christianity, but I'm gonna keep it 100.
No, I was just kind of using that as a base to see, like, was you there first and then you kind of drifted away, or did you not have no?
I mean, my grandmother is really religious. I would say that we was probably a fairly religious household, but like I've read a little bit of the Quran. You know what I'm saying? Looking into Islam and studied a little Buddhism, like different ways and practices that other people do all over the world. Like at the end of the day, like everybody really just praying to the same thing, man.
Yeah,
that's what I personally believe. Whatever you believe your faith and your walk is, that's who you close your eyes and pour your heart out to. Like that's a deep ass connection. I respect that, but like I feel like you can have that talk in your heart too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You are telling yourself when you pray.
You believe in you.
Believing in yourself, man. Like, I don't feel like it's just only one way somebody's gonna make it. I'm not into that. Life is just too many experiences that take us through a journey that's individual to us. So I just can't believe that everybody that don't do this is bad. I think that's actually a primitive way of thinking.
Everybody is here for a different purpose. So
absolutely, that's it.
We all serve a different reason. So it's fucked up because they confine everybody to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where we all get confused at, because a lot of people don't want to fit into it, and then you got a bunch of people that do. You know what I'm saying? So, like, with your spiritual connections, did that kind of help with your creation path and you getting into art and doing tattoos and stuff as well?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would just say that, honestly, believe it or not, my whole journey for real, I look at it as art anyway. Because long before I was cutting hair, I was drawing and shit. So, like, that was my first love. That was my first passion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was pretty good at it. and then from there, everything I see that is art to me. You know what I'm saying? Is expression of self, whether it's the music you make, the beats you make, paintings, drawings, photography, books.
How did you doing, I assume, drawings, right? How did that translate into you being comfortable enough to do art in people's hair or do tattoos on people? Because that's permanent.
Well, the whole thing about it was like, when I was in school, dude told me, he was like, man, you can draw, you can cut hair, because I was telling him about how I was doing with the clippers and shit. He was talking, notice my fucked up haircut. So it's like, man, if you can draw, you know you can cut hair, because you know you got a steady hand. So from that point on, man, I always kind of took what he said, it's in the back of my head, and was like, I can translate that.
Yeah.
And that was something that was eye-opening to me, because I won't ever think about translating anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we think of whatever gift is our gift, and don't watch it grow, don't nurture it, don't let that shit flourish. Just, this is what you're good at, just do this.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, whether it's cooking, okay, your special this dish is this. You might have a whole other cooking style that you might be a beast in.
Exactly.
You know, but you never giving yourself a chance to kind of step outside of what your potential is.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that being a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, what's some new things that you got coming up next?
Honestly, man, I'm trying to ride it out to 2021, and hopefully.
That's almost here now.
We weeks away. But I mean, I know shit crazy out here with the pandemic and all that shit, so I'm just trying to ride it out till 2021 and see what happens when the world open back up.
Yeah, if it does.
Yeah, it will. But I'm gonna tell you what, every opportunity you got right now, you better take that
advantage
shit.
of it.
Like, it's a whole lot of shit floating around, a whole lot of money, a whole lot of opportunities. Like, if you're not looking away, yeah, man. Look, I kind of knew that it was gonna be a creative era, because sometimes when we go through the worst shit, which is everybody going through right now, you see the most creativity come out.
Yeah. That's facts.
It's gonna be a good era for music, films,
everything. You know what I'm saying?
Art.
So, on that note, we're gonna wrap this thing up. You know what I'm saying, D? You know what I'm saying? Let the people know where they can find you at. You know what I'm saying?
You can check me out on Instagram at DCutsOfficial, DCuts_official.
Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all stay in tune, man. We're gonna have the visual for y'all after this joint, you know what I'm saying? It's been another dope episode of the TrakWolf Godcast, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
we got Cheno Bliss in the building. We got motherfucking Savage in the building.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? I'm your boy TrakBeatz. We signing out.